Clearly.Hub is our implementation of the open platform, which is an online data sharing facility where you can easily share your project data, your city data, amongst everyone who wants to use it, based on open standards, so that everyone can easily access your data without copying or converting it. People need to collaborate on all kinds of topics, and currently data sharing, so all having the same version of the data, the correct data on your screen, is an issue. And using the open platform, you can easily make sure that everybody has the correct data on their screen.
These kind of checks are very hard to do with these kind of traditional, conventional methods. You have to check either your detailed zoning planning is according to the city's master plan, which is many drawings, many layers, a lot of texts which are not machine readable, which are not standardized, also different laws and regulations. So the main time spending on making checks is searching for the information from hundreds and hundreds of pages from the different sources. One of these kind of very tangible benefit was to introduce these people who are stuck in their old ways, that these kind of new ways, this is not a fairy tale. This is possible. Technology has been there so long time already. It's always doable. Now we just need to start implementing it. And we need to focus the next use cases so that the people who are doing their everyday work, they see what is possible. They can now really describe what else they need automated. When we're considering the building life cycle, the information, the foundational information born from urban planning stage, and this kind of information will be used later on in the conventional design. So it only makes sense to use this kind of standards that we're using for BIM, for example the IFC, to accommodate the information already coming from planning. And this is how actually we are bridging the GIS and the BIM world together. So the detailed zoning planning is this logical middle point between it. That is actually the key, because we are operating with enriched data, but this data has to be trustworthy, it has to be up to date, and it has to be accessible so that we can use that data. But if we don't even know, for example, what data we have in the city, who is responsible for renewing the data, and who can use the data, then it's basically a data mess. When we can query the data that we want for this kind of interface, then it's just made easy. But if the data is in the different places, we cannot create these kind of interfaces.